You're now watching This AFC South Show, brought to you by Curtis Podcast Network, hosted by Curtis Brown, Blake Bellamy, Isaiah Michele, and Jeff Steckel. Hello, everybody, and welcome to This AFC South Show number 78 here on Curtis Podcast Network. I'm your host, Curtis Brown. With me, as always, Jeff Steckel, our Colts fan, Isaiah Michele, our Jaguars fan. Blake Bellamy, our Titans fan, is not here this evening. He was asked to do teaching obligations, basically making sure all those kids don't end up pregnant or on meth. And for that, we say thank you. But let's, before we get into the show, we have a 22 like goal for the channel. We tried it on a couple episodes ago. The episode came out at a weird time. Not everybody watched it, but 22 likes gets us a new channel record. So go ahead and hit the like button, please. It'll help us spread to other people. Also hit the subscribe button. We've had a couple more at us, up to 125 now, 875 away from our 1K goal of monetization. So you can be a part of that. And by the way, you can go ahead and check the merch link in the description.
Merch.
And we got options. We got options on there. So without any further ado, let's get into the previews for week 13. Gentlemen, we're going to start off today with the Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson traveling to Houston to play the Texans. And this is the first game that Deshaun Watson has played since 2020. It's been a while. I don't know that you can automatically assume that Deshaun Watson's going to come out there and play great football. I don't assume that he's going to come out there and play just absolute hog, just like shit. But it's possible. I think there's definitely going to be some rust. If Houston's able to get this win, it's playing and building off of any mistakes that Deshaun makes while he's trying to knock that rust off. That's where we're going to live and die. Dameon Pierce has been bottled up the last, 3 of the last 5 games or something. He's had 8 yards rushing in the last 2 games each. So just not a really good output from him. We're going to need more. We're going to need consistency out of the running game, regardless of who's toting the ball. Hopefully this week we get Amari Rodgers to make his Texans debut, and Eno Benjamin. Both of them have been inactive the last 2 weeks since joining the squad. I'm excited to see where they fit into everything. But Cleveland's not a very good team, even though they, a couple years ago, were in the playoffs. Jacoby Brissett's made some pretty good games happen. I think the Browns came back and beat the Jets or something, or was it the other way around?
The Jets.
Did the Jets win or the Browns? Anyway, not the point. They've been playing mediocre ball, which is better ball than the Houston Texans have been playing. So I have no hope that there's a win here. It's literally just the Texans have to get one eventually. And this game is at least set up a little bit more favorably than some. Yes, they have Myles Garrett, but there are other weaknesses on this defense. Particularly, I don't think I can name a single defensive tackle on this roster. Deion Jones was sent to be the middle linebacker from the Falcons for peanuts. I don't know. I don't really trust the Browns to just walk into and get a win, easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Houston this week, boys, as an upset pick. Now let's also think about this. If Houston wins, as we established in the prior episode, there's no team that's got 2 wins. So even if Houston wins, they're still locked in for the first overall pick. And that ensures that the Cleveland Browns pick stays low as well. I think that's a win-win-win if the Texans can actually pull off a victory in Houston for I believe, the first time all season. If I'm not mistaken, we beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville, so we don't even have a home win. So And I know that the fans hate Deshaun Watson for everything that he's done, as well as maybe some other people on this crew. But I think that, they're going to have to be on a different level. This is going to need to be a team that plays efficient from the opening kick to the final whistle. And if it doesn't happen, we're not going to be looking at a dub. With that, I'll open it up to you guys.
Yeah, I think this is a game that's going to come down to the trenches. Who can block better? Who can open up the run? I don't see Deshaun Watson passing a lot, and I don't even understand. Like, I know this is his first game eligible to return, but Brissett has been playing well enough that I don't know why they don't ease Deshaun more into it. Like, the Browns don't even really have a whole lot to play for right now either. So it's like I'm not really sure why they're throwing Watson out there. It really doesn't make sense. But go ahead and let him. I think Houston's going to be really loud. I think I took the Browns, but I think I'm considering even changing that. Like, I feel like he's just going to really be handing off, and it's just really going to come down to the Texans stopping the run,
which they can't do.
Yeah. So this might just be one of those ground and pound defense games where it's not. I don't anticipate a very high score, but I think Houston's going to be loud just for their hatred right now for Deshaun Watson. So
yeah,
this could go either way. I mean, like you said, if Texans might just fuck around and win by a field goal.
Yeah, I don't think that either one of these two teams are very competent at all. So
right now, I feel like just because, like you said, Watson hasn't played in like 2 years, just I don't know why they wouldn't ease him into it. Brissett's been playing pretty well. I would think he'd give him the best chance to win, but Cleveland's going to do Cleveland things. So
yeah, I mean they're also paying him an ungodly amount of money. So I imagine it's hard to justify putting that on the bench.
Yeah.
Isaiah?
Yeah, I mean, the only reason Deshaun Watson is going to play is because they owe him the most money in football. I mean, we'll see. He's definitely going to have rust and knock off. When he played in the preseason, he was terrible. Yeah. And then of course Jacksonville has a fan base, and they're out there yelling "You sick fuck" at him in the end zone.
Remember that clip?
Oh yeah, great people down in Jacksonville. But no, I mean, I can see it going either way if Nick Chubb didn't exist. I mean, Nick Chubb is currently the best running back in football this year so far. I know Jacobs just edged him out. That's because he had a 200 and whatever yard game against no defense. 300 total yards, 200 something rushing. But yes, yeah. I mean,
by the way, shout out to Josh Jacobs.
But I mean, yeah, I think that with Deshaun being rusty and everything, they're going to run the ball a lot, and Houston's defense has shown that they can't stop that. So I mean, we'll have to see. And I actually do know a D tackle on the Cleveland Browns roster, Taven Bryan, from Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah.
Other than him though, yeah, you got a good point there. I don't know anybody else. But yeah, I mean, I could see it going either way, but more than likely it's going to be the Cleveland Browns game, just because I think their defense is slightly more competent, and I know for a fact that Nick Chubb's going to take advantage of his runs that he gets.
Yeah. I pulled up their game from last season. It was a 21-31 game. Tyrod Taylor had him tied up at halftime, but pulled his hamstring, wasn't able to finish the game.
Davis Mills.
So here were the stats for the Browns this game. Baker Mayfield, 213 yards on 19 of 21. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Nick Chubb, 11 carries, 95 yards, and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt, 13 for 51. Baker, 8 for 10 and a touchdown. And Andy Janovich, 2 for 0 yards and a touchdown. It was Diametric Felton, a running back, who caught the 1 touchdown pass for the Browns. This is a team that definitely has more wide receiver help this season. But they've always been built through the running backs. And over the last couple games, Houston's run defense has done better. On a per carry average, at least. while the Washington Commanders had over 115 yards rushing against us or whatever, it was at like 3 point something a clip, which is a lot more tolerable than what we were doing before at like 5.6. And then the Dolphins couldn't really run the ball against us last week. So I mean, there's been improvements made. I don't necessarily say that gives us any sort of advantage or like, level playing field at all. But I don't know. There's just like just need a couple plays to go right, and I think this game could very well wind up in the Texans' lap. But with that, let's go to the next game. We'll be covering the Colts traveling to Dallas, and I would say one of the Colts' bigger matchups of the seasons. Dallas is a pretty hot team, so it's going to be really up to that defense to make a showing and keep that game close, especially because Matt Flynn's not flying too high these days. So, Jeff, take it away, brother.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of scenarios I could paint where I really see the Colts pulling this game out. If they play anything like they did against Pittsburgh, who's one of those probably below average teams overall, and their first 3 drives, like I said in the last show, they ran 8 plays. So if they do that against the Cowboys, they're going to make them pay a lot more.
Yeah.
If the Colts defense are on the field that much, it's gonna be ugly. I think this will be a really good test to see where the offensive line, like I talked about, mild improvement, with Raymond at left tackle. I talked about Braden Smith against T.J. Watt. So I think it'll be just kind of looking at the line and where it's at, just to see how they do with Micah Parsons, just to see if they can keep him from, hitting Matt Ryan like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of I feel like Matt Ryan is going to be running a lot in this game, and that's not something you want someone like Matt Ryan doing. If the Colts are going to win this game, they're going to have to find a way to get the run game going. But the issue is now they know that Matt Ryan isn't going to throw the ball more than 5-6 yards, so they're just going to keep stacking the box. This could quickly turn into another game like the Colts had against the Patriots. It's just that I'm not very optimistic. But like on a positive, I mean, Yannick Ngakoue, I think he's now, I saw something. He's like the 5th player.
Oh yeah, to reach 8+ sacks in their first 5 seasons, I think.
Yeah,
6 seasons.
5th player, 8+ sacks in the first 7 seasons. Yeah.
7.
So he joined Reggie White, Aaron Donald, Derek Thomas, and Marcus Ware. So he's in really, really good company in his first 7 seasons. So I think he went over 8.5 last week. And I did read that Kwity Paye was a full go today in practice. So that'll be a huge boost to their line. Maybe they can get some pressure and, they really just have to sustain drives. That's really all. That's really the only way they're going to win this game. They can't have their defense on the field for 20-something minutes in the first half. That just can't happen. But I hate the Cowboys, and I hate saying it, but I believe I picked them to win. It pains me to pick them, but I don't see a lot of scenarios where they win.
Yeah, I don't either. I think I also picked the Cowboys to win, as much as that pains me. I think the line is like 11 though, which is kind of
very
steep.
high. Yeah.
I'm curious.
Isaiah?
Yeah. I mean, we saw what Dallas did to the Vikings a couple weeks ago. Things get moving in the right direction for them. They can really string some stuff together. I still don't know why they haven't moved on from Zeke, besides probably his contracts. I mean, Tony Pollard is just way better than Zeke. He's better than Zeke. Even with a smaller frame, he can still punch stuff in whenever Zeke's not around on the goal line.
Yeah.
I mean, he's played really well this season as well. They've still got, CeeDee Lamb and those guys. They can make stuff happen. Jalen Tolbert's kind of still getting adjusted, the rookie out of South Alabama that they got. But I mean, that defense is just Micah Parsons is just so good. He's going to put a lot of pressure on Matt Ryan, and I don't know that line, TJ Watt's a good athlete, a good edge rusher. He's 75%, if not 50% of the edge rusher that Micah Parsons, an athlete that Micah Parsons is. So even if he doesn't get him at first, if he does leave the pocket, I mean, he's going to chase him down. Running backs, I mean, he's just as fast as, if not faster than any player on the field at any point in time. He's just one of those players that whenever he steps on the field, he's the best player / athlete on the field. So I mean, we'll see. I definitely can see ways for them to win this game. I mean, if they can somehow double team, chip block Micah Parsons a little bit, kind of get him into a sort of a non-factor. I mean, he's going to make plays, but get him as taken care of and secured as you can. They could make some plays. Trevon Diggs is the literal walking definition of right place, right time. Not a lot of his picks have been him just making phenomenal athletic plays. A lot of them have been underthrows, plays where you get tipped right to him. I mean, they do still have some holes in the secondary. They don't even really play Merrick, and they got him. So I mean, it's going to be interesting seeing the game. I think that the Colts have ways to win, but I do think ultimately the Cowboys are going to pull this one out. Just they have a better combined firepower on offense and defense. But really, that's about it.
Yeah, I look back at past games, and the Colts have hit the 20-point threshold just 4 times, and the Cowboys haven't hit 20 points just twice.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't have a lot of optimism about this.
Yeah. Hard to be optimistic going against this star-studded Cowboys team. That was a lot of people's favorite picks going into coming out of the offseason to be a Super Bowl contender. A lot of people said the Colts were a dark horse, but things not shaping up in Indy right now. So with that, let's lead into Jacksonville heading to Detroit. Jacksonville winners of 2 of the last 3 games that they've gone out and played a respectable game against the Chiefs in that stretch, and now they travel to Detroit, try to make a win streak happen for the first time in what's probably a while, I imagine. And I think it's pretty likely this Lions team is playing pretty well as well. They were winners of 3 straight before losing on Thanksgiving, and now it's kind of the 2 upswinging teams colliding. So something's got to give. Honestly, I like the Lions to keep this very competitive. The line is 1. It is I think the Jags are favored -1. So I think I'm going to go with the Jags here, folks. I think the Jags have had, I would say consistently, they've had better quarterback play this season. So I think that Trevor Lawrence's floor right now is a lot higher than Jared Goff's floor, because there are games where Jared Goff looks like he's never even thrown a football before. He looks like he's been taking lessons from Davis Mills or Kyle Allen. And it's
Chad
just like
Powers,
Yeah, basically. So yeah, without any other further ado, at least on my end, Isaiah, take it away on your Jags, boy.
So just one thing before we start. I know this isn't the Madden show, but the new ratings came out today, and Trevor Lawrence got a +1. He is now a 77 overall.
Attaboy.
I literally took that, I DM'd it back to Madden and said, "What the fuck is this?" I posted on my story too. I was like, "This is fucking trash." Literally, number 1 in accuracy, in completion percentage, number 2 in QBR, number 2 in touchdowns the past 3 weeks. He's put together the best string of 3 games in a row that we've had this season, and that's not even just me being a Jags fan. That's just statistically speaking, completion percentage wise, QBR wise. He's been doing that. I think that there might be a little too much hype just because we beat the Ravens. I don't know that we should necessarily be favored over Detroit in Detroit. If it was in Jacksonville, I mean, yeah, sure. I'm, -1, -3. I'm taking that. But I think this is, the fact that we're favored in Detroit means they might be jumping the gun a little bit, or it might be, we're getting there. What I will say, and this might actually change your mind a little bit, ETN is still limited. Zay Jones is limited with a chest injury. Andre Cisco, our starting best fucking player on the defense right now, he's limited with a shoulder injury. I think he'll end up playing, but he's limited currently. There's one other guy, but anyways, I mean, there's a couple key injuries there. I think ETN's going to play. ETN's been insisting all week that he's going to play, and Press Taylor said in a conference that ETN insists that he's ready to go. And honestly, they said he could have came in last week, but they felt like they were good enough with Hasty and that they were moving the ball, and they wanted to keep him healthy just in case, because it's the same foot he had to list Frank on. But I mean, the Lions defense is not very good. Their offense has put up a lot of points, but I mean, their defense is not very good. I know they had that one game where they looked all world against Green Bay, but Aaron Rodgers just had some really boneheaded throws, hitting the back of his freaking linemen, different stuff like that. But it's definitely a game that can go either way. I think Jacksonville is going to win. I always pick Jacksonville to win because I'm one of those guys. But no, I mean, I think that we can definitely take care of it today or Sunday. Trevor Lawrence has been playing well, but again, this is something kind of like I said before with beating teams in the AFC South. He has to consistently show he can do that. He can't just, throw 3 games together and then this game have like a 10 QBR and play really bad. But again, I don't think the Lions defense is a defense that's going to push us into that. Don't know what that says, but anyways,
you don't even
yeah,
know
I know. No, but yes, I mean, realistically, it's definitely a game we can win. The Lions, like you said, Jared Goff kind of has his ups and downs in the games. You never know which Jared Goff you're going to get. But at the end of the day, I don't think they're good enough to beat us at this point in time. We play pretty well against the run right now. We just faced Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, who I would say Lamar Jackson poses more of a threat than anyone on that team for the Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown, we do have to kind of watch him. DJ Shark can be sneaky since he's a number 2 instead of a number 1. But at the end of the day, I think this is one where we can take it home. Bring it back to Jacksonville afterwards and celebrate all the way home.
If I'm not mistaken, Jamal Williams leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns. DeAndre Swift has missed several games, but prior to him being out, and I'm pretty sure with him coming back, he's actually been doing pretty well. They were saying he was poised to have probably his big breakout season this year. So they do have like a kind of a 2-headed beast there in the running game. It just kind of depends on if Jared Goff shows up and remembers how to spell his own name. But yeah, Jeff, you got anything?
Yeah, the Lions are favored. They might have changed the line, but the Lions are favored by 1, which really
okay. I might have just had it backwards. I'm sorry.
No, well, I think Jacksonville at one point was favored, but it might be the injuries he was just talking about that kind of shifted it. But this could turn out to be a really fun game. I mean, if Jacksonville comes out offensively like they did against Baltimore, we know that the Lions can put up points. So this could turn into a fun game that comes down to the end. Probably one of the ones I'm looking more forward to, just from an NFL perspective of watching. It could just be a fun offensive game. But I think I picked Jacksonville too, just because Detroit's defense has been not great.
Yeah.
And Jaguars' defense has at least gotten better. I think they've been playing pretty decent. So yeah, I think I took Jacksonville, but I think it'll be a fun one.
I have to agree. I think we're going to be looking forward to some fireworks in Michigan. Yeah. Okay, so before we get into the next game, let's go ahead and mention that, last episode Isaiah said that if the Jags win and the Titans lose this week, the Jags are officially in the hunt one more time. So, all the Jags need to do is just kind of put together some games here down the stretch, and potentially they could be looking at, upsetting the Titans and finding themselves in the postseason. But before we get into that, before we get into the Titans, go ahead, like and subscribe. If you liked what you've seen, we have videos coming out 2-3 times a week sometimes. We're going to be having a very busy month this month with 2 Thursday night games, a Saturday night game, and another Monday night game for the Colts. So be sure to click the notifications bell so you don't miss anything. Now, let's get into the Titans. They're playing host to the Philadelphia Eagles, the 10-1 Eagles, who are playing pretty hot. Oh, is it in Philly?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's in Philly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that kind of paints a different picture for me here. With that, I interesting. I don't like the Titans' chances in this game. I don't. This is a team that's built on stopping the run on defense. They got Fletcher Cox and Davis is supposed to be back. They've got Javon Hargrave, who's been playing lights out football. I think that this is a team that's built to give teams like the Titans troubles. And Jalen Hurts has been playing pretty well, even though I think this is a fraudulent, not very elite tier 10-1 team. I think they have the capabilities of handing the Titans another loss and keeping the Jags relevant and playoff hopeful. It really is going to come down to if Derrick Henry, that offensive line, can get going. He got obliterated all week last week. Anytime he touched the ball, there was 2-3 hats on him, going low, high. That man probably woke up Monday morning and could barely move. With that, I'll open it up to you guys. If you guys have any particular takes, go for it.
Yeah, I'm tempted to agree. I mean, I think Philly with Hurts and I think they just have a really good running attack. They've got some weapons offensively. So the Titans have got on defense. I mean, they've been really good on defense, but this is a game I think they're really going to have to step it up. And like you said, they're going to have to find a way to get Derrick Henry going because Cincinnati shut him down pretty good, except for that one big pass play that he had where he almost fumbled. But
no, he did fumble, but yeah.
Well, I mean, they recovered it, but
yeah.
But yeah, they've got to find a way to get him going. That's their bread and butter. Otherwise, Tannehill's going to have to play lights out in the game, and I haven't really seen him do that this year.
Yeah, I think he's got one 300-yard game.
Yeah. With it being in Philly, I like them to win, but I think with the ground game that the Titans have, they can at least keep it close. But yeah, I think the Eagles take it.
Look, the Titans have a phenomenal defense when they show up and they want to play. They'll keep a score low. I mean, the Bengals didn't just go out and put up infinite amount of points. It was a close game throughout, and that's kind of the MO of the Titans. I don't think that the Eagles are going to necessarily just walk away with this. The Titans are going to put up a fight. Yeah. That defensive front line is pretty good. They're going to need to be playing probably their best ball all season to really slow down Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts. And we all know A.J. Brown is going to be itching for that revenge game, and he's going to be looking to try to put up big numbers against his old team. So I think that's a really big storyline to watch because I imagine probably McCreary is going to be on A.J. Brown, and I don't know if you want to put a rookie on A.J. Brown right now, especially if you're
A.J. Brown, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns this game.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's my guess as the lowest there.
Yeah. Isaiah, you got any particular takes?
I mean, the Eagles just put up 300 something, like 360, 320 rushing yards last week as a team. That's insane. I mean, a big thing there, I don't know. I don't think that it's going to be a blowout win, but I do think that the Eagles are going to beat the Titans soundly. I think it'll be a 2-score game, mainly because while, yes, the Titans defense is really good, their secondary is atrocious still. A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, whatever the other dude's name is, one from Alabama. They're all really good.
Are you talking about Devontae Smith?
Devontae Smith, that's the one. I couldn't remember his name for a minute there. But yeah, They're pretty good. This is a game where Hurts, he's going to have to show he can throw the ball a little bit more because he's not going to be able to run as much, / they're not going to be able to run as much because the Titans' front seven is really good at stopping the run, but their back half is suspect at best whenever it comes to stopping that ball through the air, which they've shown throughout the year they can throw the football. I don't know that with the level of play they had last week on their offensive line, Tennessee, that is. Tannehill and Henry are going to be hit all night. I mean, the Eagles have one of the best, if not the best, pass rush / run stopping units in the country right now, especially with a healthy Hargrave and a healthy Fletcher Cox and it's
Davis.
Is Davis back?
I believe so. I believe last week was like the last week he was supposed to be missing time. I could be wrong. He might miss this week.
Oh, yeah,
but
no.
they
He's
still
back
have
too.
Robert Quinn, who's going to do Robert Quinn things.
Yeah, so I mean, it's one of those weeks where this could be a close game, and the Titans could win. I mean, they win a lot of games they shouldn't. I don't think this is one though. I think that the Eagles are going to take this one, and I think they're going to be able to do things that they just move the ball, and they're going to throw a lot this game. This might be Hurts, another game for Hurts over 300 yards through the air because I mean this is just the Titans secondary that's their weakness, and Philadelphia has shown that they can attack a weakness of a team to win a game.
Yeah.
Just out of fantasy perspective, I kind of hope Derrick Henry kind of hits one of those, barrels over a guy and breaks off one of his big, angry stiff arm runs for me. But
yeah,
just kind of trying to put some few defenders on their asses. But I mean, I kind of hope for an Eagles win just to make the AFC South a little more exciting.
Yeah,
and Jacksonville winning, that'd make it a lot more fun coming down
Woo! The street. We all hate the Titans. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, if we can get this division to have any sort of semblance of hope beyond the Titans, I think it's going to help not just those teams, but also us.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if I've ever actually said it while we're doing the thing. Our background music is done by Arcade Dreamer, and we use the instrumental version of Dangerous from his debut album, Born in the Midnight, available practically anywhere you can find music. You can also subscribe to his YouTube channel at Arcade Dreamer. And with that, I think we're done here, boys. Do you have any closing remarks?
Madden, you suck. Rate Trevor Lawrence higher.
Okay. Fair. That's a fair point.
Out of the past 3 weeks, this is the first time he's gone up in overall in the past 3 weeks. 80%, 74%, and 76% completion percentage. And he's gone up by 1 overall in the past 3 weeks.
Hosing him. Yep. Well, folks, thanks for watching this AFC South show number 78. Jeff, Isaiah, thank you guys for always being here, and thank you guys for watching. Hit this like and subscribe button. Still got the like goal, 22 likes when this episode is fin. So everybody be good people.